First set to Miss Evett and Miss Navratilova by 6 games to 1. Change the balls, please.
Well, Bill, we knew that Chrissy and Martina were going to be a good team, but we quite frankly couldn't expect to have such an easy 6-1 opening set. And Chrissy providing the steadiness, Martina the power. They're doing quite well. And I'm certain, and I don't mean any disrespect, but I think the old lady's got to take over. And the reason I'm referring to Billie Jean as the old lady, and many times I've heard the girls, when they get their runner-up checks or their trophies, while they always say when they've lost to Billie Jean, well, the old lady was too good for me today. Even though she's only 32, she has really been sort of the boss for the ladies, and a great job on and off the court for women's tennis. And so now she's got to get Betty over her jitters here. Betty Stove is a marvelous doubles player. She should hold her serve quite easily. No doubt Billie Jean's trying to just relax Betty a little bit so that she can play her normal game. And of course we know that Billie Jean's going to bring her form up. She actually hasn't played very badly yet, but with Betty doing unexpectedly so many errors on her own serve, and then not taking advantage of Billie Jean's good return, she's not moving well at all.
Second set.
She'll be the difference. If they're going to win, Betty's going to have to improve. All right, with new balls, Betty Stova, they've changed sides, and she's going to serve first once again.
Fifteen love. 30 love.
Evidence there of what Jack Kramer was saying. Mrs. King quick to make the interception, help her partner Betty Stove out.
What?
Just shows how nervous this girl is, not watching the ball, very edgy, and being advised, told to calm down by her partner, Billie Jean.
What? 30 all.
Critical point of the match. If this game goes, they are in real trouble. 30 all and an easy volley and a double fault.
Thirty, 40. Deuce.
And that ball had to go anywhere on the court, except to Mrs. King.
Advantage, Miss Navratilova. Deuce.
That's a marvelous get.
Advantage, Mr. Stove.
Marvelous get, because Mrs. King must have been looking for the interception as well and had time to go back.
Game to Mrs. King and Miss Turvey. First game, second set.
So a very big game for Billie Jean and Betty to win. Had they lost that serve, as Billy Knight was explaining, why their confidence are really zoomed, and this young lady would have gone deeper into the depths of despair, because she really has been playing about 25% of her normal good doubles or mixed doubles game. And Billie Jean is like a good captain, trying to give her all the possible help she can without appearing to be discouraged. That's one of the things in partnership, that no matter how bad your partner happens to be playing, sometimes it's yourself, I guess, Billy. Your partner's trying to help you, why they've got to appear as to still be happy to be out there on the same court with you. So it's a ticklish business, but a big game coming off of a point for the break. Maybe Betty Stova will relax a little bit, and we're going to see an amazing thing to me. Miss Navratilova, who has the best serve, is allowing Chrissy Everett to serve, no doubt because Chrissy's won her serve so easily on this side. Billy, I don't know if it means anything, but Chrissy Everett looked up in the players section and checked with her mother, and her mother said the ball was out, so Chrissy accepts the call.
Love 30. Love 40.
And the #1 seeds with a great opportunity. Betty Stove far more relaxed.
(15-40). Game to Mrs. King and Miss Turvey. 2 games to love. Mrs. King and Miss Turvey lead in the second set.
And a terrific game played by Billie Jean King. They're getting in after the return, really taking control of the court. So they lead 2-love.
(15-love). (30-love). (40-love).
All that support from Mrs. King helping Betty Stover. Far more confident. That was a good interception.
40-15. Game to Mrs. King and Ms. Sturve. Three games to love. Mrs. King and Ms. Sturve lead in the second set.
So the
Ms.
number
Everett
one.
and Ms. Navratilova lead by 1 set to love.
Number one seed's looking a little better, having got away the opening game of the set on Betty Stova's serve. They've won the last two games convincingly. And I'm just wondering whether Martina and Chrissy were smart putting Chrissy's service first, because there's no doubt that Martina has the stronger of the two serves. There's a lot of camaraderie among the ladies. They're all playing in team tennis in the United States. And of course, they're solidly entrenched in their own player association. So now, love 3 down. It's up to the younger pair here to sort of solve the problem. And it's always funny to me, Bill, when you have a real strong server and you put her in on the sunny side in the first set and they go out and win the set 6-1, why wouldn't you start her in the second set? We'll have to ask them after the match is over. But Martina now serving.
15 love. $30 love. $40 love. $40-15.
All through this second set, Betty Stover is getting better all the time. Not quite playing at her best, but that was a good return, taken early, low over the net.
$40-30. Game to Ms. Everett and Ms. Navratilova. Mrs. King and Ms. Sturve lead by 3 games to 1, second set.
And with Betty Stover to serve, this is the service which would be the easier one to win, but it's always been the one that's been in jeopardy so far in this match. 3-1, Betty Stover serving.
Love 15.
Martina Navratilova made the winner, but the point made by the very good play from her partner, Chris Evert.
Let first service.
It was a good move for Betty to make. Step in front of Billie Jean and knock that overhead off. That shows that she's getting her confidence back.
15-30.
Go for it. Not bad.
30 all.
Yes, there'll be a bit of conversation here. After the very bad volley, that was a good volley from Betty Stover. 30 all, big point.
Great.
40-30. Let put. Let. Second service. Game to Mrs. King and Miss Turvey. 4-1. Mrs. King and Miss Turvey lead in the second set.
Billie Jean King's tonic is working, Billy. I can hear quite a bit of conversation. I hope the court microphones are picking it up, but she's continually telling Betty, come on, get up, let's go. That a girl? Great. She's got all the adjectives going to try to show Betty that she has confidence in her, and I think it's working, except for that one high volley. But of course, that always happens after you say something is not going to happen. But totally different Miss Stova here. And there you can see the coach, Billie Jean, continually working. And this sometimes helps players, Billy, but sometimes, you know, it affects the players. They're not used to having this. What do you think?
Well, I think when they know one another as well as they do, Jack, it has to help. But as you say, sometimes it doesn't, because you get more nervous and more worried about your bad play. But the thing is that Betty Stove, who played so badly in the first set, you've got to admire the way she's somehow held herself together in this second set, and she's won some good points when they've been critical.
And once again, now this is a critical service game, because Chrissy Everett, who lost her serve quite easily, practically opening this set, serves again to keep from going down 1-5. It's 4-1, Mrs. King, Miss Stova heads second set.
15 love. All.
Just wasn't enough time to play that smash. The ball came so quickly, it was high. All. Game to Miss Everett and Miss Navratilova.
Mrs. King and Mr. Irvin lead by 4 games to 2, second set.
So 4-2, second set with the #1 seeds ahead, and it's Billie Jean King to serve to Miss Evert.
15 love.
And the wide swinging serve, plenty of slice, taking Miss Evert out of court. It's won so many points over the years.
Thirty love. Love. Game to Mrs. King and Mr. Irvin. 5 games to 2. Mrs. King and Mr. Irvin lead in the second set.
Jack, they're ahead 5-2 in the second.
Evert and Ms. Navratilova lead by 1 set to love.
5-2 in the second set. That last shot, Billie Jean King is so good on the shot after her serve. Don't you think that's what made her such a great player over the years, doubles and singles?
Well, she has marvelous equipment, Billy, that if the ball comes in a little high, she has the speed to get in and take it high and volley it down between you or in the alley. And if you happen to make a good return on her, she has the touch to play it back short and low, usually cross court. And she has the third ingredient it takes to be a good serve and volley player in doubles, that if the ball is a good return and she has to half volley it, she has a firm enough short stroke that she can sort of dink it still back low. So she has everything going for her. And of course, if you try to lob her, I think she truly has been one of the superior overhead smash players in ladies tennis history.
So 2-5, second set.
Love. Love.
Just can't get that return going with any consistency at the moment. She's hit the top of the net about half a dozen times in the second set.
She's standing too straight up on that forehand, Billy. I think she should just dip those knees just a shade. Betty being a very, very tall girl, now if she hits it from that position, she should be all right.
Game to Miss Evert and Miss Navratilova. Mrs. King and Mr. Irvin lead by 5 games to 3, second set.
And so it's Betty Stove who must try and serve out this second set. She's lost her serve in this match and has always looked shaky, particularly on the first volley. 5-3, Miss Stover serving.
Love.
Footwork wasn't good, but she was right on top of the net.
Love. 40 love.
So that very good serve gives Betty Stover and Mrs. King 3 set points.
(40-15).
But still 2 set points.
Second service.
Another superb return straight down the middle. 1 more set point to go.
Game and second set for Mrs. King and Miss Sturvey. Second set to Mrs. King and Miss Sturvey by 6 games to 3. 1 set all. Change the balls, please.
Jack, after the very bad start in the opening set, as we've been saying that Billie Jean King could really raise her partner, Betty Stover, and she certainly seems to have done so because she's much calmer now and making a lot of good shots, occasionally missing the returns, but the serve and the volley much better.
Yes, in the opening games, it's almost like she was so frightened out there. No reason for her to be so, of course. She's been champion here with Billie Jean before, but she was really hitting her volley like she wasn't watching it at all. I think one of the key situations in this match is we are now at 1 set all, Billy. Are they going to let Martina serve first, or is yes? This to me is a very, very vital decision because Chrissy Everett lost her serve earlier and she's had to fight much harder.
Final set.
And now with new balls, Miss
Miss
Navratilova
Navratilova
to serve the 3rd and final set of the Ladies' Championship.
(15 love).
Let off the hook there, Betty Stove. That high backhand volley, a little bit slow to move to it. Good return from Mrs. King.
(30 love). (30-15). (40-15). (40-30).
Just a little bit slow to get into the net. Mrs. King returned so well, that right in the half volley position.
I think it was a fault. Wasn't much of a call. Yes, it's a fault.
Deuce.
There was one of the best Stova returns on Martina's serve. That got her right down at the feet, and a big one because now we're at deuce, and Billie Jean is starting to come on stronger and stronger.
Advantage, Miss Sterling.
So a real chance for Mrs. King and Betty Stove.
Game to Mrs. King and Miss Turvey. First game, final set.
And a really big break of serve for Billie Jean King and Betty Stove, breaking Martine Navratilova's serve after Martine had been 40-15, and all through this second set Betty Stove had been getting better and better, and finally that game she hit a couple of beautiful returns of serve, Jack, to help to make the break.
And Billie Jean still working on Betty, and she's got her loosened up, because in that particular game she was the power. She returned the serve well, and of course the last forehand she hit down the line was truly a beauty. So the #1 seeds, and of course this is so important, as in the record books, Billie Jean has 19 with Bunny Ryan, a great lady, and Billie Jean has a chance to go one championship up to 20. All right, Betty Stove to serve to Chrissy Everett.
Love.
And if I can, Billy, California tennis is very grateful to Bunny Ryan, because she was the lady that brought big-time tournament tennis to us out there in 1927. So she's always been a pal of California tennis where I come from.
Love.
Oh, that's a great smash.
Love.
So quick to cover her partner. She was in position before the lob was played almost.
Game to Mrs. King and Miss Turvey. 2 games to love. Mrs. King and Miss Turvey lead. Final set.
Boy, the pressure's really swung around here. After a 6-1 first set for Chrissy and Martina, now they're down love 2 in the third and pressing.
First service. Love. Love.
Plenty of time to play that interception. First one that Betty Stove hasn't really hit.
That's the first double by Chrissy, but as you watch Mrs. King, she's still practicing that low backswing on her forehand, Billy. She's always tried to make it short and low. Reminds me the next championship will be the mixed doubles, and that's what we're seeing now, is Billie Jean completely taking over.
And so another chance for another breakthrough for Mrs. King and her partner.
Juice. Advantage, Miss Sturvey.
Good.
It's a great lob.
Game to Mrs. King and Miss Sturvey. 3 games to love. Mrs. King and Miss Sturvey lead in the final set.
Tremendous game they played that game. Billie Jean King, every return right down at her opponent's feet, looking for the opportunity to make the interception. And Jack, Betty Stove returning so much better now that she's giving Billie Jean King plenty of chances to make the interception.
Absolutely, Billy. What we're seeing here, once again, tennis is really a matter of confidence. And if we want to see something very, very good from Betty Stove, well, let's get a replay going here on the break point. Betty returns serve. Chrissy comes up with a nice volley, and look at this great lob. And just inside the line, and a happy Betty Stove who trots off behind Billie Jean there. Now we're going back to the action. Betty Stove will be trying to get a few interceptions, but going back to my original comment, confidence is everything in tennis, and Betty has got her confidence again, so she's playing beautifully. 3-love ahead, Billie Jean to serve to Chrissy.
First service. Love. All.
One of the first mistakes that Mrs. King has made for a long time. It's a good return though, right down at her feet. No pace at all, just to overrun it slightly.
A little ray of sunshine now for Martina and Chrissy as a good 1-2 punch, good return, good volley. 15-30.
All.
Good volley by Betty Stove, but marvellous control of the half volley by Mrs. King, stretching Miss Evert to the full.
Deuce.
That was quite a
advantage, Miss Navratilova.
bad stumble. She looked as though the wind took the ball slightly, tried to change direction, almost went over on the ankle. No problem though.
Sorry. It's quite windy here.
Yes.
Billy explains it. Pretty windy, she says, and that's why she decided not to swing. And Billy, you know, she had a cartilage removed from that knee, and anytime you stumble around like that, it's dangerous.
Deuce.
Just a great chance to get back into the match there. Martina Navratilova missing the lob by a couple of feet.
Advantage, Miss Navratilova.
Part of the reason Billie Jean's having a problem trying to get to 4-love here, its advantage to Martina, is the fact that her serve is all of a sudden coming up a little short, giving the girls a chance to chip and come in on it.
Deuce.
Seems a little understanding, but just a little bit long. One serve to come.
Advantage, Miss Navratilova.
And suddenly Miss Evert making a great effort, hitting some great returns of serve, giving her partner the chance to break for the third time. And they've made it.
Game to Miss Evert and Miss Navratilova. Mrs. King and Miss Turvey lead by 3-1. Final set.
Very good play by Martina Navratilova's partner, Chris Evert. Miss Navratilova serving.
Out. 15 long. $30 long. $40 long.
Very firm interception, helping her partner.
Game to Miss Evert and Miss Navratilova. Mrs. King and Miss Turvey lead by 3-2 in the final set.
Well, Billy, we got a contest again thanks to Chris Evert, who not only helped break the serve of Mrs. King with some great returns, but also helping her partner hold service.
Jack, I just wondered, when Billie Jean King lost her serve, you mentioned that the serve was getting a bit short. Didn't you think, too, that the wind suddenly sprung up a little bit and against her, just causing that, too?
You're so right, and Billie Jean, she threw the ball up, and we call it in baseball a balk. Tell us you don't have to swing at it if you don't like to, or if you feel that you've tossed it in the wrong position, and it's a good thing to do in the wind. Now we see, I think, a little bit of a story unfolding here as Betty Stova has fought her way out of difficulty, gotten her confidence back, and her team was ahead 2 service breaks, which means 3-love here in the final set. And now once again Betty faces the pressure. Although she's ahead 3-2, those last 2 games weren't just exactly what Mrs. King wanted. So if Chrissy Evert can get a good return here on the first point, we might have some fun.
Not up.
Yep, Mr. Macker decided that was a double bounce.
First service. Love.
And that's the spot right down the middle there. Plenty of power, causing the error from Betty Stover's backhand volley. Low over the net too.
40-15. (40-30). Deuce.
That's a bad miss, but Billie Jean King was just saying to Betty Stove the point before, just got to get in after your serve, so perhaps concentration slightly lacking.
Advantage, Miss Navratilova.
And the nerves beginning to show. 3-love and now a point for 3-all. Double fault at critical stage.
Game to Miss Everett and Miss Navratilova. Three games all, final set.
Tremendous fight back by
Quiet,
Miss Everett
please.
and her partner. 3-all, final set.
Love 15. Love 30.
Might have been a bit lucky from Mrs. King, but she was ready to pounce on anything in that rally.
Love 40. Game to Mrs. King and Miss Turvey. 4 games to 3. Mrs. King and Miss Turvey lead in the final set.
So, after losing the first 3 games, Chris and Martina pull up to 3 games all, and I must say that Billie Jean played her 2 points in that game awfully good, and I think there's a little inexperience by the girls, Billie, when they would try a lob volley at a crucial time. In fact, I think that they should have quite understood the fact that Billie Jean was going to really try to move into the center, and so on any return they should have played it down her alley, because I don't think they'd have found her there.
The other thing was, Jack, they played the lob volley in any case over Mrs. King, but she really did play very well. Billie Jean King serving.
Love 15.
And a wonderful return by Chris Evert right at the feet of Mrs. King.
Poor return by Navratilova. And for those who joined us late, we are in the third and final set. There have been 5 service breaks. Everybody's lost service at least once. Chrissy's lost hers twice. Billie Jean serving to Miss Evert. It's good.
15-30.
Well, they came from 3-love down. Oh, that's well played.
15-40.
Good return, but Miss Evert playing the volley from very low. Here's a chance for the breakback.
Game to
there
Miss
it is.
Evert and Miss Navratilova. Four games all, final set.
So just a few moments ago, this pair were love 3 and point for 4-love down on Mrs. King's serve. They again lost their serve to 4-3 and now 4-all. Miss Navratilova serving.
Love 15. Love 30.
Mrs. King right in the centre of the court. Jack Crane was saying a moment ago, girls have to play down her tramlines. Keep it there.
15-30. A
little bit of a parley-vous going on here, and maybe we might find that Chrissy might try to intercept. Still point for the break.
Just out.
Billie Jean thinks it was good, but it was out about
Yes.
18 inches.
And very well played by Martina Navratilova, who had to contend with 2 very good returns from her opponents. 15-40 to deuce.
Advantage, Miss Navratilova. Deuce.
Billie Jean unhappy.
Advantage, Miss Navratilova.
But Miss Martina there serving right to the forehand on the last 3 points and getting 3 airs. Advantage.
Deuce.
Mrs. King not having too much trouble with that shot. Slightly hesitant interception by Miss Evett.
Advantage, Ms. Navratilova. Game to Ms. Evett and Ms. Navratilova. Change the balls, please. Five games to 4. Ms. Evett and Ms. Navratilova lead in the final set.
So both of these teams got to the finals without losing a set, and in the opening set, Chris and Martina were easily the best, winning 6-1. In the second set, Miss Stova started playing a little bit better under the urging of Billie Jean King, who's back once again trying to talk some confidence into Betty. In any event, Billie Jean and Betty won that set 6-3, and they raced into a 3-love lead with 2 service breaks. And suddenly Martina and Chris started getting the ball back in play, holding on to their serves. They broke Billie Jean and then Betty, and then finally they leveled again with 2 other service breaks. So now they stand in good chance to keep Mrs. King from winning that 20th championship here at Wimbledon. And Betty Stova to serve now to stay in this match.
Love.
Well, the girls are probably saying, Billy, at love 30, we should have flipped a coin for that one. I think it was Chrissy's shot. She had her good 2-hander right ready to go. 30 love.
Love.
40 love. Martina Navratilova thinking that was a let. No let called.
Game to Mrs. King and Miss Turvey. 5 games all, final set. Love.
Come off the scoreboard too early for a good
Love.
It was lucky, right off the frame.
First service.
It's going out.
40 love.
I thought that ball was going out. Good tactics to throw up the lob at that situation by Mrs. King, though.
Game to Miss Evett and Miss Navratilova. 6 games to 5. Miss Everett and Miss Navratilova lead in the final set.
Why does it go 5?
And a surprisingly easy service game there for Chrissy Everett. And Billy, you know, when one partner lobs the ball like that, just to make a point here, Betty Stovall was standing deep in the court, and Billie Jean was the one that could see the ball going out, and I felt that she should have called. But in any event, she didn't, and so we find that Chrissy and Martina have assumed a 6-5 lead. And the player who's been the most impressive on this team has been Chrissy. She, of course, we expected to see all the good returns, but where she's been a lot better than we expected. She's intercepting. She's smashed fairly well. She's only had about 4. I'm surprised Billie Jean hasn't lobbed an awful lot to Chrissy. And in general, she has been the stronger of the 2 players. Now, Billie Jean, who's played well all the way through, has really fought a battle of getting the confidence back to Miss Stovall. She did that, and it looked like they had the match wrapped up. All of a sudden, the pressure's all on Billie Jean as she's behind and serving 5-6, trying to stay in this match.
Love 15.
And that was just a little bit tired shot, but a wonderful return by Miss Everett right down at the feet. Big point. She gives her partner the chance to really go for the second one.
Love 30.
Betty Stovall, who played the point well, but what a miss to go love 30 right on top of the net. The ball wasn't difficult at all.
(15-30).
So 2 match points for Chrissy and Martina, and 2 very poor volley errors by Mrs. King.
5, stand by to pick them up. They come to the net. 2, I want big wide applause on you, that guy.
Oh, 30-40.
Good play by Betty Stovall, but still match point.
Game, set, and match. Miss Everett and Miss Navratilova. Miss Everett and Miss Navratilova won by 2 sets to 1, 6-1, 3-6, 7-5.
And Jack, when Billie Jean King and Betty Stovall led 3-love and a point for 4-love in the final set, you just couldn't believe that she wasn't going to add that 20th title to her. They looked so much on top at that stage.
Absolutely, Billy. And of course, the kids can't hide their happiness. And Billie Jean is little talking to herself right now. And I'm not giggling out of anything except to say that we may have a chance because of this loss this afternoon by Billie Jean to see her come back again in 1977, which would be wonderful, and take a whack at either the mixed or the ladies doubles. She played awfully good, and I'm sure that Betty Stovall will feel extremely low because in the beginning she just didn't have it, and Billie Jean kept working on her and working on her, and she got her up to her good game, got her confidence going. And then at 3-love in the 3rd set, things just turned around. But you got to hand it to Martina and Chrissy. They stayed right in there. Miss Everett returned the ball well all the way. And Martina did an awfully good job in holding serve and hitting smashes.
I just wondered, Jack, that perhaps Billie Jean King got a bit tired at the end of the match, which the effort of really carrying all the weight for 3 sets. So they'll go up now into the royal box to receive their prizes.
Billy, it looks like they took a little detour. It usually doesn't take that long to get from down in the center court up to the royal box.
I should think they're so happy, Jack. So they'll become the holders just for 1 year of the Challenge Cup, presented by Her Royal Highness, the Princess Marina, who was president of this club for many years. They'll also receive £2,400 to share between them, and they'll have silver replicas. And I'm sure we'll hear a terrific round of applause for Billie Jean King. Who will receive £1,200 and a silver medal. And as Jack Kramer says, as they receive the congratulations, that let's hope we'll see this lady again in quest of her 20th title.
You know, Billy, the way Mrs. King sort of waved to everybody, I certainly hope that's not her way of saying farewell. Just imagine 19 titles, 9 doubles, 4 mixed doubles, 6 singles, just 1 to go, and I'm wondering how Bunny Ryan, who was watching that, is feeling. I don't know whether she would mind having a super champion like Billie Jean taking over her record title.
Yes, Jack, she was just sitting up in the members' stand, and as I think I said before the match, that her titles span from 1914 to 1934, and Billie Jean King's only been going 15, 16 years here with titles, so perhaps she's got another 5 or 6 years to go to make the extra title.